get a title. So we are going to work on something called FOIL. There's your title-ish. So FOIL, multiply binomial by binomial, is what we're working on today. And we're going to look at one way of doing it. And then probably tomorrow we're going to work at some different ways that people do it. I want you to try this way because it is the most flexible. And you're going to need to be able to do it for other things also. Okay. So we're going to just start with something very, very basic. Okay. So basically what we are going to have to do with this is a distributive property situation. But I have two things that I have to distribute. So one way of doing it, which most people don't do, is you could do this. X times x plus 3. And then add that to x times x plus 2. And I don't know why I went in that order, I just did. That is not right. And then 2 times x plus 3. All right, let me tell you the correct thing. One of the reasons why I don't do it this way is what I just did. You can get confused on what you're doing. All right, so that is basically what we're doing. So we're distributing, and it can get complicated. To make it not complicated, I want you to try something. Let's see if you remember doing this when you were, maybe in 2nd grade, maybe 3rd grade. And see if you can understand this concept. You have got to go way, way back. Okay, I'll fill out part of it, and let's see if you can fill out the rest. And you can see what I'm doing. What am I doing? I'm multiplying, right? Does anybody remember what this is called? When you did it back in like the 3rd grade? What number should I put here? How about here? How about here? Okay. What if I were to add a 4 here? Can we fill it out? What's this? That's what you said, right? Okay, what is this called? Do you remember? Multiplication tables, right? You guys did that. We're basically going to use this multiplication table idea to do this, because this is just multiplication, right? Okay, but we don't need a whole huge table, right? Back when you did it in, the 3rd, 4th grade, 2nd grade, I don't remember. You probably did, instead of 1 to 4, you probably did 1 to 12 or something, right? Because that's what you guys did, is 1 to 12 multiplication. We're not going to need something that big. We're going to start with something way smaller, because we're just doing an easy problem. And I'm going to rewrite the problem here just so we can see it and see how to use it. So we're going to kind of use the multiplication table technology, if you couldn't call that technology. This is also called the Punnett square. And we will go with how the math and science use this technology to help us do stuff and things. All right, so I'm just going to do a little square. And so I call this the FOIL box, and I'll go over what FOIL means, probably not today, but probably tomorrow. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do it just like that. I can put little ears so I can, know where to put numbers. So I'm just going to write this first one right here. And I'm going to write this second one right here. And I'm going to do a times table. So I'm going to do, here is going to be x times x, right? What's x times x going to equal? x squared, right? X times 2. That's it, right? 3 times x, right? And 3 times 2. Okay. So if we, basically what our first step here is just, do the times table. Just basically multiply. And then there's a second step. And that's it. Combined like terms. Are there any like terms here? Are these like terms here? 2x and 3x? So I'm going to write my final answer, and it's going to look like this. X squared. What's 3x plus 2x? And there we go. So what we're going to do is we're going to multiply a binomial today, and we're not going to have a bunch of weird things. We're just going to have them be very regular, and we're going to get a trinomial. Okay, and we're going to follow this. We're just going to multiply using this box, and we're going to combine like terms. This box is used for organization again. So back when I was doing this, I had to remember things, and I remembered things wrong, and I wrote something wrong. This, I basically just want you to put one of the binomials here, one of the binomials here, and then just like the times table, one thing at a time. The nice thing about this is it will work for any size problem. All right, let's do another one. And this is kind of our goal today, is to be able to multiply these with efficiency. And I will tell you, most people get pretty good at this pretty quickly. You just got to be careful and multiply each part correctly. All right, so I'm going to do a box here. I'll give you a problem. I'll make it harder. Although most of them today are about the same. You got to be able to see it, right? Okay, and this is how I write it. I'm just going to put like a 2x here, a 6 here, a 3x here, and a negative 2 here. Does it matter which one goes on top and which one goes on the side? It does not. It doesn't matter at all. And if you wanted to, you could put your plus 6 there to make it look better. You don't have to, because plus 6, positive 6, same thing. So see if you can fill out the box. All right, so 3 times 2 is a 6. X times x is a... Okay, 3 times 6 is an 18. X times, well, nothing is just an x. Negative 2 times negative 2 is a... I'm sorry, negative 2 times a positive 2 is a negative 4. And then x. And then we got negative 2 times 6, which is a negative 12. Okay, do we have any like terms? Looks to me like we have like terms again right here. So we're going to have 6x squared, negative 4, 18, that's going to be what? Maybe? Okay. So we have two linear binomials. When we multiply two linear binomials every single time, we're going to get, well, there are a few exceptions, but almost every single time, we're going to get a quadratic trinomial. Okay? And we're going to try this one more time. What can I do to make this harder, do you think? I'm going to keep them binomials. Is there anything I can do to the numbers to make them harder? There's not much. So I'll make it about as hard as it can get. For today. Okay, see if you can set that up. That one's not as, it's kind of ugly. And again, when you're doing your work, you can write this if you wish, but that's on your worksheet. This has the same information, doesn't it? So I'm okay with you just writing this down. And this is basically your work. 5 and 3, 15. I can put that in the calculator. X and x squared. 5 and 8, -8, -40. And then I just have an x. -9 and 3 would be a -27. I'm just going to put an x. Negative, that's going to be a positive. So that would be a positive 72. Do I have like terms? Okay. You are not always going to have like terms, but today you will, because I'm going to have you multiply two linear things together, two linear binomials. And so that's always going to create like terms right here in the middle. If I would have one be like a linear and one be quadratic, it could mess things up for you. But if they're both linear, they're both the same, it will create like terms in the middle every time. All right, so this is going to be a negative what? All right, that's what we're doing. Okay, it looks complicated, doesn't it? To go from here to here, looks like you're doing something amazing, right? If you show, like an elementary school kid, you just leave this out and just show them that, do you think they're going to understand it? And so you can, explode their minds, right? We are eventually going to do it backwards, okay? So I want you to pay attention that we're going to do it forwards. Forwards is easier. We're eventually going to start with this and get this as an answer. So we got to get good at forwards before we can do it backwards, right? Backwards is always harder. All right, so let's go ahead and just finish that worksheet. And that's it for today.